Hi. I just heard a yow somewhere in the background. Hi, Candace. Rebecca's in the house. Hey, Rebecca. Hi, Tina. I always love seeing that Tina's badass come through on the on your handle there. Hey, Anna, Emma. Amber's here. Nice to see you, Marlene. Marlene, welcome. All right, let's settle in. I'm so happy you're here. This is such a good exploration today of what we're diving into, which are needs. And oh, there's so much that is available to us when we get to know our needs and we go about taking responsibility for meeting our needs. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. Just before, just as an outline for those of you who are new, I don't know if I said hey to Emma. So good to have you here. And we just have Marilyn joining. Hey, Marilyn. And we got Katie. All right. So we'll start with our Dharma talk on this needs. We'll unpack it. We'll unpack some things that I think are essential to keep in mind around needs in terms of our well-being, our happiness, our full self-expression. All of that gets to happen side by side, acknowledging and meeting our needs. So go ahead and just mention in the chat, what is your intention? What brings you to this Dharma talk and meditation? And then after the Dharma talk, which goes until about 9:30, we'll sit together and I'll lead a guided meditation. If at all possible, I ask that you stay for the whole time. I get it. If you need to leave early, that's fine. But if it's possible for you to stay the whole time, it's not just for you, but for the whole community. There's a container that's set, and you're not just staying here with us for the whole time, but really being present with us the whole time, like energetically engaged, is also important. Like Marlene's walking, that's totally fine, and listening to the Dharma talk, but eliminating distractions, not looking at browsers, things like that, or answering emails. Really give this to yourself, and you also help to support the other practitioners here in the Sangha and the community to do the same. Let me see. I keep taking responsibility in places and with people where I have no power. Thanks, Tina. I can really relate to that. Some of us take utter responsibility for everything. And in that, that creates a lot of stress, because then the weight of the world is on our shoulders and the weight of everybody else's well-being is on our shoulders. And so we'll talk more to that, but thank you. My intention is to feel embodied. Yes, Rebecca. Katie, improving my meditation practice, strengthening my voice. Yes, welcome, Katie. It's so good to have you here. All right, so let's dive into, I have some notes that I want to, so I don't miss anything that I want to share with you. As I give this talk, I encourage you to just really be in your body. As Rebecca mentioned, her intention was to be embodied. So let's all do that right now. Just come all the way into your body. And you want to sense that you're not so much listening to me from your ears, the head center, but you're listening to me from your belly. So go ahead and anchor into your belly. I forget who said it. It might have been one of you in a session. My belly has nostrils and ears. I love that. So just orienting in that direction. And let me just read a few more comments here. How do I meet my needs without sounding like a squeaky wheel? Okay, good, Anna, I'll address that. I can relate, Tina, but I'm getting better, Marilyn. My intention is to pause for practice. Oh, good, yeah, it's so good to just take the sacred pause. So we'll talk about, I'm going to talk about a few things before I get into the 3 points, the 3 most essential pieces of acknowledging and meeting our needs. And You're never too late for this, by the way. I think that's really important to mention. Most of us were not taught. I mean, I learned about it in psych because I was a psych major. So of course we learned about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I'm going to share those with you because I still really like them as a way of arranging and organizing our needs based on a hierarchy. And I'll talk more into that when we get there. But I am tuning into our needs. You know, it wasn't really something I heard about, like I said, until college. And then even way after that, I went around oblivious. Just because we're unconscious to our needs doesn't mean we don't have them. It is impossible to be a human being alive in this world without needs. All of us have needs, and we get to just like acknowledge that right now, no matter how independent you are, no matter like how sovereign you are, we all need to breathe. We all need food. We all need shelter. These are some basic kind of survival needs that I'll unpack more when I show you Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But the first thing is just to acknowledge, oh yeah, I have needs. And when I'm meeting those needs, a part of my heart comes home to itself. Actually, let me say this, just acknowledging needs, the heart starts to come home to itself, because let's face it, we can't always meet our needs all the time. I was just talking to Marilyn about this. As a mom, like sometimes I need to take a break, but in this particular moment where I'm finding myself, no break can be had except for maybe a deep breath in. Right, so I'll take what I can get. And then, you know, sometimes it's like I might notice I have the need for quiet, to unplug, to just go inward. And that's a need that usually I have to plan time for. So acknowledging needs is a big piece of it. And then going about meeting our needs, sometimes we can meet them the moment we're aware that we have them, and then sometimes we can't, but we can like lean into, you know, like, oh, I can book a retreat, you know, oh, how can I meet this need, right? We can make a plan to meet the need if it's not possible to meet it in the moment. But this is a real invitation to get to know ourselves deeply, likely for the first time in this way, because most of us gotten messages that our needs are not okay. You might just reflect on this right now. What kinds of messages have you gotten around your needs? And when we were kids, we got lots of messages, right? It's not okay to need attention, right? I know when I was little, I loved to perform. And at a certain point, I got the clear message from somebody in my family that was around all the time that that was not likable. My desire to shine in front of the camera and record myself singing, and you know, I love doing all that stuff. But over time, I got the message over and over again that that was not a wholesome thing. Like my need for expression was not okay. And I learned to shut that down because of that judgment that I received. Right? We have needs for we have so many different kinds of needs for validation. We'll get more into like the kinds of needs that we have, but you might think about your need for expression, your need for approval, your need, you know, when you were growing up, you needed presence, you needed attention, you needed things. You needed food and shelter, of course. And this is given that those survival needs were met, but maybe they weren't. And if survival needs weren't met, it doesn't mean that they go away. We just have a hard time later on in life sometimes believing that we're even worthy enough to exist. And so it's essential and important that we now, you know, learn to acknowledge and meet our needs. And again, it's never, ever too late. Most of us are just babies in this department, myself included. I still have a long way to go in this arena. So you can put your inner critic, you know, in the corner. You don't need to listen to that voice inside that's like, it's too late for you, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we're practicing like just turning away from that voice. And when we attend to our needs, this essential longing of the heart gets an opportunity to be met. Even if we can't meet the need in that moment, just attending to it. Oh, I need nurturing. Oh, I need quiet. You know, oh, I need food. I'm hungry. Most of us are pretty good about that one, right? The hunger cue. It's like, oh, I need food. But what about the other more subtle needs and how they pop up in our lives? They're that's why we want to learn how to consciously take care of our needs, because when they're unconscious, they still come out, and our unconscious mind will still try to get that need met, but often it does it in really unskillful old ways. So we keep trying to meet our needs the same way we did when we were a kid, right? We had a need for love and acceptance, and if who we needed to be loved and accepted when we were kids was happy all the time and never be a problem for anybody, because maybe our parents were distracted, or we had a sibling that had a lot of needs and it was like not okay for us to have any. So we just had to be okay all the time, you know, then that strategy will follow us until our adulthood and beyond, right? And you might have that particular strategy because it just wasn't okay to have needs. But again, it's never too late to reclaim it. Hearing some background noise. There we go. Welcome, Abbas. Hope I'm saying your name correctly. Yeah, no matter how much we may like, there's a lot of conditioning around not being needy. I feel like women especially have this. Well, men have it too, right? It ain't okay to, you know, be needy, but women, a lot of times it's like, oh, she's so needy, she's too needy. Kind of goes along with being too emotional. Or folks who identify, you know, in that way. But it's like, anyway, that was just coming up for me around needs. Okay, so let me go and share with you Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And some of you may remember this. I don't often share screens in Dharma talks, but I'm going to share this one because I think it's helpful to see it diagrammed like this. Okay, there we are. Okay, so here's the good old pyramid. And notice how these are, and so as I'm just referring to this, I want you to just sense, okay, like, yeah, where are my needs? Maybe where are my needs really being met? Or maybe where could, you know, are they not being met? And either awareness is valuable, right? So, and it's no one else's job to meet our needs but ours. No one knows our needs. We do. And we get to develop on the path to growing our self-love, the courage to ask, you know, for our needs to be met, if indeed there's somebody else who plays a role in that. And there's no shame in asking for what we need. But many of us feel shame around asking for what we need. So in the process of owning our needs, what we get to, you know, experience is likely shame, which is what comes up when we express our needs to other people. We have to actually go through that barrier and feel that feeling that gets in the way of us just like owning our needs. And that's actually the path of going through it and healing the core shame that we have around owning our needs, is we actually will feel it. You know, sometimes this comes up for me when I'm sharing a need I have with, depending on what the need is, with somebody that I love. Sometimes I might feel a little like embarrassed or ashamed or fearful. And I think all of that is really natural and normal. And it's not at all an indication that you're moving in the wrong direction. It's actually just an indication that you're moving through something that has been holding you back. So of course, at the very bottom, we have biological and physiological needs, just your basic life needs, and just reflecting on, man, here we are on this call. Wow. You know, our air needs are met, our food, drink, shelter, warmth, sex, sleep, etc. needs. Well, sex needs, you know, I don't know about that one. You could definitely show up to this call and not have that one met, but likely all of these other ones are being met in your life. And that's something to be grateful for. You know, I think it's really common to bypass, you know, recognizing what is already in our lives, that we have to just, you know, go, wow, thank you. Thank you. Thank you that I have breath this morning, because there were folks that thought they would have it and they didn't. This is true for all of us right now. So safety needs are the next higher order: protection, security, order, law, limit, stability, etc. And you can see these needs also not just individually, but we can take it more meta as well, like culturally, globally. We have we can see these needs. And so you might reflect on yourself here. And all of us, depending on our background, what we've experienced in life, you know, will have a different relationship to safety needs and whether they're being met or not. You know, there are plenty of folks living that are regularly feeling unsafe because of the color of their skin, because of their political or religious beliefs, right? So sometimes it's just acknowledging the needs that we have that are being met is, you know, an opportunity for just appreciation and gratitude. And often it inspires us to, like, you know, to do something about the injustices that are rampant. Okay, the next step is belongingness and love needs: family, affection, relationships, work group, etc. So just taking a moment, sort of reflecting on this area of your life. Hi, Marlene. And then there's this, and now notice they get more, you know, the higher, we meet these, and these are in a hierarchy, but I want you to realize that we ping pong around on this. Because sometimes I might be in transcendence at the very top, helping others to self-actualize. That's actually like my work in the world, my work. So sometimes I'm all the way up here in transcendence. But that doesn't mean that something doesn't happen that drops me down to safety needs. If I get, you know, do you ever get those robocalls? Like, I got a tax one time, totally freaked the shit out of me. And I was scared to death that, like, I owed all this money to the IRS until I, like, took a moment and stopped and was like, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense. Like, my accountant hasn't told me anything about this. It was just one of those calls, you know, that those horrible calls that they do to try to rip you off and manipulate you. They do it through fear. In that moment, my security fear was, like, you know, uprooted. If we've had trauma, security, safety, big ones for us. Those are two of my security and certainty. Those things are two of, like, my biggest unmet needs from childhood. And I still work with them to this day. So you can go, you know, you can be at the top and drop down, you know, it just depends on the triggers that are happening, what's coming up in our life. And then we have esteem needs: achievement, status, responsibility, reputation; cognitive, knowledge, meaning, self-awareness; aesthetic, beauty, balance, form, etc.; self-actualization, personal growth, self-fulfillment. So here we all are. You know, we're here in this place gathering together, right? This is what we're up to here, is we're meeting the need for personal growth and self-fulfillment. This is what you're doing. You're meeting one of your needs right now. So just acknowledging that, like, oh, why does it feel good? Maybe it's because you're meeting one of your needs. And then transcendence, helping others to self-actualize. So this is, again, the hierarchy. We aren't having transcendence if we're likely if we're needing air and food, right? Why I say likely, because I think of the yogis that on purpose deprive themselves of these things so that they can transcend. So, but again, with a yogi in that position, that's fully within their control. They know that if they needed food, they could go get some food, as opposed to just not having that as available or as an option. Another thing I wanted to share with you along this route is, so this is an emotional needs inventory. So we can break down the needs that I just showed you in Maslow's hierarchy even more. And this is available through Nonviolent Communication, their website, the Center for Nonviolent Communication.org. And so you can see there's needs for connection, physical well-being, honesty, play, peace, autonomy, and meaning. And so looking at this reminds me of the second piece I wanted to share with you. The first piece here is awareness. We have to just be aware. Whenever we're feeling off, it's really useful, like say we're feeling anxious. It's really useful to like acknowledge that that's there, but then to also like sense, okay, what is this feeling of anxiety needing right now? And until we get good at our needs kind of vocabulary, it's good to have a list or to have something that you can refer back to. I have cards, and some of you, my clients, know these cards because I use them in session. And I'll have you look through the cards and pull out the things that you're needing, right? Sometimes it's for connection. That's a big one for me if I'm feeling anxious. Connection always is almost always medicine for me when I'm anxious. Talking to somebody about what's on my mind, even just getting it down on paper, you know, bringing it into consciousness is connection. I'm unearthing it. But then when I get to share it with somebody else, that even unpacks it further. We have needs for belonging, you know, just to feel belonging. We even have needs to celebrate, you know. If we're feeling angry, we might have a need to set a boundary. So all emotions have, this is number 2, the second point, all emotions have a need tied to it. And so any negative emotion that you experience, a really good question, what is it needing? What is it needing? Like I gave you the example with anxiety. Or maybe I'm feeling angry or irritated. Oftentimes that happens for me when I'm not, when there's a boundary that I haven't erected. And if, you know, and I encourage us all to think about, you know, it's like we are 100% responsible for our own needs, because when we don't acknowledge our needs and take responsibility to meet our needs, then we set ourselves up for relational dissatisfaction. Shouldn't she just know what I need? Like, oh my gosh, we've been married for 20 years. Shouldn't my husband just know that this is what I need? Shouldn't he just know that? Like, I may not, we do this all the time. We're not even aware of what the need is, but we're fully aware that somebody else should be meeting it. Shouldn't she know, like we've been friends for a long time, that it's like important, you know, that it's important for me that I get weekly text messages, you know? Well, maybe she doesn't know that because we haven't said anything. And so we're expecting people, when we don't take responsibility for our needs, to mind read. By the way, with boundaries, and I need to do another Dharma talk on boundaries as a separate issue. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. We are the ones responsible for upholding our boundaries. And if somebody continues to cross boundaries that we've set, it's up to us to renegotiate the relationship, rather than get so frustrated all the time that they keep overstepping a boundary that we've drawn. We need to restate the boundary. And if they cannot abide by that, then it's up to us to restructure the relationship. Maybe we block the number. There's always something we can do in service of taking care of our needs, you know, boundary wise and otherwise as well. Oh, the body has needs. We all know this. When we don't address the emotional needs, when the emotional needs are there, like say we have just a lot of anxiety, but we're really hooked into our worry strategy for dealing with the anxiety, which doesn't really actually take care of it. And so what happens? Well, we're not dealing with the anxiety really. We're actually feeding it with worry thoughts. The body starts to, as Gabor Mate says in a great book he read, when the body says no, then the body will talk back. We develop, autoimmune disorders, aches and pains and inflammation, and all kinds of things can get migraines, right? I'll get those if I'm really stressed and I haven't taken my foot off the gas. I'll get a migraine, and that's a great way my body has of just stopping me in my tracks. So there's both emotional needs, but when the emotional needs aren't met, the body will talk back. There's no way to escape your needs. The last thing I want to talk about was, I've mentioned earlier, that it is our responsibility to meet our needs, no one else's. And rather than thinking about, because sometimes, I'll have this when I'm talking to clients about meeting their needs. They might be exhausted and thinking like, oh, God, I need a vacation, but my vacation's not coming up for like 6 months, Well, how can we what's that feeling that a vacation gives you? Oh, I would just feel lighter. I would feel more like at ease. I would feel more resourced. So we can actually bring those felt sense states into present moment time, right? We might slow way down. We might breathe more consciously and deeply as we're going about what the mind perceives as a busy day. We might alter the inner terrain towards gentleness, because all of this is about reparenting, right? All of this is about reparenting. This was not something any of us were taught. Oh, you're angry. You must be needing more support or more understanding right now. I mean, most of us as kids did not get that. And so we're learning it for the first time now. And in the process of learning, acknowledging our needs and learning to meet our needs, we are in the process of sacred reparenting. And again, it's never too late to do this. And there's no shame in any of our needs, because some of our needs we really have aversion to. I brought up in the email related to the announcement of this Dharma talk that this reminds me of a client that I was working with, and she was feeling like her husband just didn't desire her. And it was showing up like she just wasn't feeling good about herself, like it was her fault or something like that. And a lot of our work was around her owning this desire to be desired. Like that is a real need. And there's no shame in acknowledging that. And now she can actually courageously, because this is not an easy conversation, but talk to her partner about it. Like something, that really brings me alive is when you share with me through words and in touch that you really desire me. And that really makes a big difference for me in how close I feel to you, right? That's an example of a vulnerable conversation we can have with someone when we're recognizing that one of our needs isn't getting met. But we have all kinds of needs and we need not have shame over any of them. It's okay to be needy, in other words. There's no shame in being needy. We all are needy. And it's the moment when we acknowledge that we can actually start to really take good care of ourselves. And we have an opportunity to have real wholeness, a real sense of wholeness and belonging. Okay, so before we sit, just let me know, what's landing for you? What are you noticing in yourself as we're having this dialogue about needs? Yeah, just take a few moments to mention it in the chat. Are you recognizing some needs that you have that you weren't aware of? Are you having any ahas about what I said? Any comments? What are you noticing? And think about it as easy shifts, like just little shifts. Like today, I have a full day. I had my first client at 8. I have my last client until 7, and I have little breaks in between. And you better believe that during those breaks, and when I have a day that's busy like this, I have a need to feel nurtured. So I don't cancel my day because I feel like I need to be nurtured. I have this inner relationship of nurturing. I'm extra, extra gentle with myself. And sometimes I'll visualize, like the Sacred Mother just sitting next to me, putting her hands on my shoulders, stroking my hair. And that just helps me really be there for my clients. So that's just an example of how you can totally meet your needs in the middle of your busy life. Remembering to ask, what do I need when experiencing difficult emotions? That's huge, Rebecca. Yeah. I'm recognizing that I was most definitely told that my needs, right, were not important. Yep. And so when I am stressed and need to rest, I return to old patterns and do not give myself what I need. Thank you. Yeah. So, and sometimes, Marilyn, it's like, right, like we get to remember these things over and over and over again. It's not a one and done. Again, I am just a baby in this arena, and I've been doing this for years and years, in depth, it's just, yeah, asking what the emotion, yeah, good, that landed for you too, Katie. Yeah, powerful, rather than asking, why do I feel this way? What's wrong with me? Right? That's our usual. What's wrong with me? Why do I feel this way? What's wrong with me? And we feel shame about feeling bad. No, wrong question. Oh my gosh, what do I need right now? What am I needing right now? And if we're not sure, we can look at a list, and then we need to go, okay, a good mama would, help, would meet, do what we could to meet this need. Because, yeah. This is all about valuing ourselves and taking good care of ourselves, not bypassing our feelings and needs to be there for others. On the back end, unconsciously doing that so that we can get others to be there for us. That's called manipulation. And I get it. I'm a, I'm a codependent. I'm recovering, right? I understand that whole strategy and pattern, but it does not work. How I constantly ignore, Tina, my needs as being over the top too much. Yeah, right? This whole old belief, I'm needy, and if I'm needy, I won't be loved. We really need to question that. Really question that. Asking what the emotion needs, my needs are important. Yeah, they are, Katie. They really matter. Always just a burden to others, so how dare I even ask? Good, yeah. So Tina, that, when you were a kid, there's likely some, maybe a place where you felt like a burden. And so that old pattern continues to come back up now to be healed. And how does it heal? When we start to relate to it differently. It's like, oh, I know I'm believing that it's not okay for me to have needs, but that's an old belief. Now let me align my actions with the truth. And that's what takes courage. It's not selfish to take care of myself. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. The Buddha said, you, more than anyone else, are more worthy than are the most worthy of your love and affection. You can search across the ends of the earth and find no one more worthy of your love and affection. Yeah, we are the apple of the Creator's eye. However we connect to that creation, that intelligence. We are part of it. Yeah. Of course we matter. Of course we matter. It's like we're remembering that mattering. Like we knew we mattered when we were little kids. We knew we mattered. When we were first born, we cried when we were hungry or soiled or needed someone to hold us. Unapologetically, mind you, with no care or consideration, because we don't have that capacity when we're infants, thank God. We'd probably, I don't know what would happen to us, but for our caregivers' comfort, we'd keep them up all night, to have our needs met, because when we're babies, we just, our self-consciousness develops, as we get older. And that's when we start to deny our needs and repress them to please others. Yeah. To get the love that we need. So, yeah, we're going to sit together now. So go ahead. Oh, before we do, just reminding you that these talks are offered by donation. Your donation really makes a difference. You can Venmo me or PayPal me or Zelle me. Yeah, I'm on Venmo at Karina-Nickerson. And then if you find these to be valuable, please do share this link with anyone. Anyone's welcome to come and join us on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. PT. So please do ask others to join our group. Settling in now, satisfying the need for self-connection. Let your body be comfortable. Let your body be at ease. Just let it be at ease. Start to deepen the breath. Bring a hand to your low belly, and as you exhale, draw your navel back and in towards the spine. Squeeze the stale air out. Inhale and let the belly just be full and relaxed. And exhale, navel back and in towards the spine. To wake up the belly center, we're going to do 5 more of these. Maybe draw in the perineum, pull up on the anus. Inhale effortlessly and fully. Good. Exhale completely, navel back and in towards the spine. All the way back and in. 2 more like that. And 1 more. Exhale all the way back, the navel all the way back. And now just let the breath breathe you. Being so in your body, it's like you don't have a head. Becoming intimate with the sensations of breath. She let go. Without a thought or a word, she let go. She let go of the fear. She let go of the judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of all the right reasons. Wholly and completely, without hesitation or worry, she just let go. She didn't ask anyone for advice. She didn't read a book on how to let go. She didn't search the scriptures. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected date in her day timer. She made no public announcement and put no ad in the paper. She didn't check the weather report or read her daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyze whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't do a 5-step spiritual mind treatment. She didn't call the prayer line. She didn't utter one word. She just let go. No one was around when it happened. There was no applause or congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good and it wasn't bad. It was what it was, and it is just that. In the space of letting go, she let it all be. A small smile came over her face. A light breeze blew through her, and the sun and the moon shone forevermore. No need to manage or control your inner world. Just be the witness, the loving witness to sensations and emotions, images, sort of the auditory commentary that happens between the ears. Don't try to control any of it. Just let all of the experience fold back into the belly center. Kindness is a heart need that often goes unmet in our busy day-to-day lives. Just allowing a glimmer of inner kindness to just wash over the whole inner landscape. That every thought, every emotion, every sensation is blessed by kindness. You don't have to deserve kindness. This is available as the air we breathe. We don't even have to generate kindness. We can just sense ourselves held inside of it. Maybe even feeling a slight smile bloom through the eyes. And inside the mouth. Inside the chest. And the belly, smiling. What does kindness feel like? And just bringing a hand to our hearts. You can even just like kind of stroke the chest or make circles with the hand on the chest. And just sensing what that's like as we add soothing touch to our practice. Sealing our practice with the metta chant. Chanting first for I, then for you, then for we. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. We can just blink our eyes open. It's our nervous system's need for security and safety to just look around the space and orient. Even looking behind you. Yeah, no threat right now. We cannot bypass that we have nervous systems that are always scanning for threat or opportunity. And we can take care of the nervous system's needs, through practice, through community. All right, so good to be with you. Don't forget to donate. And oh my gosh, thank you. You're welcome, Tina's badass phone. You know what, Tina, I was reading your comment, how I'm told I'm living in the past to even speak of my needs. Yeah, some people shame us even now as adults for owning or just acknowledging our needs. And sometimes that shaming is like gaslighting. So you might already know that that's what's happening, but if not, check out, Google gaslighting. You're the one that's crazy for feeling insecure. You shouldn't feel insecure, you know, like that kind of crazy making is gaslighting. Yeah. I'll fix this. Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, or overreact. Same thing, right? Yeah, you're overreacting. You're being too sensitive. That's gaslighting. Yeah, a lot of folks don't even realize that's what they're doing. But it's good when we realize it, because then we can know, wait a second, no, I'm not crazy. Actually, this is a valid need, and there's nothing wrong with my expression of it. There's no need, nothing, no such thing as being overly sensitive. As a matter of fact, when we don't own our needs, then they come out sideways. And we can be volatile in our emotional reactivity when emotions and needs are oppressed. Is actually when that volatility comes out. And there's no shame in that either. Takeaways, I'd love for you to pop into the chat. What's a takeaway that you have as we come to a landing place in our time together? There is no shame in identifying our needs and meeting them. Yes, Marlene, all caps. That's right. No shame, no shame. And meaning too, sometimes if we've been shamed a lot, like I was, you know, those of you can relate to this, shame will come up. So we just, again, it's like knowing that that's part of it. It's like, that's shame comes up as a way to be healed. So rather than thinking the shame means there's something wrong with us, that's the old story. We can hold shame like the good mama bears that we are, and just be kind to that old part of ourselves who's afraid that we're broken for having needs. Thank you. You're welcome, Candace. Every time you do the chant, I sing it to my head all day. Yeah, great. Gratitude. Grateful for your teaching screen in this community. Thank you all. Beautiful. Thanks, everyone. Blessings to all of you. Please shoot me emails about if there's a theme that you'd like me to cover. I'm so open to that. So feel free to send me an email at thethrivinghealer@gmail.com. Go ahead and take yourself off mute and we'll say our goodbyes. I love, Rebecca, you laying on your pillow there with your heart.
Okay. Thank you, Karina.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for being here.
Yeah.